Except that it has 3 lobes. Oh, like this, oh, tanawa. I-dissect nila try ang visceral flora, apil lang parenchyma ka-dissect. So meaning, dili nila matag, they can tag that. Okay?
So it's a visceral.
This is the visceral flora. Oh. Then it's the parenchyma is also included in the dissection. So they cannot dissect that. So the curved side, sharp side. So this is more anterior, posterior. So if you imagine, so it's in the right. So you imagine anatomic, normal anatomic locations when you're facing the patient. Okay? So patient na siya. So if you face it, so it's in his right. So this is the right. So right lung. So 3 lobes, superior lobe, middle lobe, inferior lobe. So fissures, what fissure? What's this fissure? No fissure. Human fissure. This one, oblique fissure. So listen, if you put it like this, you can't see the fissure right away, especially if it's medial part here. But the middle lobe, was it middle lobe? Inferior lobe. Medial lobe, medial basal segment is more on the medial side here. Then lateral side is here. Same with the left. Okay? So medial side. So let's sa hilum. So in the hilum, same with the left, more on the anterior and inferior what? Vein. So pulmonary vein. Even if you don't know if it's artery, vein, whatever. Okay? Then first thing you have to kanina lang kay guwapo mga sanay. So lobe. What's this lobe? Superior lobar bronchus. Right superior lobar bronchus. But this hole right here is the right intermediate lobar bronchus. This one. There's no right inferior lobar bronchus. Why? Because in the hilum, in the right lung, the lower sides will bifurcate inside the lung. So dili nimo siya makitaan in the unlike in the diba? This. So because the left lung has 3 lobes, so intermediate, it's called intermediate because it will bifurcate into the middle lobar bronchus and inferior lobar bronchus. But what you can see outside is the intermediate. Unless they dissect it in the here, unless they will cut this. But here you can clearly see, diba? This is the intermediate, right? This is the inferior lobar. This is the intermediate, right, of the right lung, intermediate lobar bronchus. It will bifurcate into middle lobar. So this is the middle lobe. That's why it's called middle lobar, because it will supply the middle lobe. Then inferior lobe, inferior lobar or inferior lobe. Okay? So nagets niya. So if this is a very nice these are bronchioles. Ano siya? Ano siya mga bronchioles? This one. This is still lobar bronchus. But this na siya? Bronchioles. Then as it bifurcates further, it becomes the terminal, respiratory, and the alveolar sacs. But that's too small to be pinned. So only the main bronchus and the lobar bronchus. Okay? So intermediate becomes middle. But unlike this one, you cannot see the middle lobe. You cannot see the middle lobar bronchus unless you Leon mo, even if you want to see it there, cannot see because it was not dissected yet. Okay? But know that this one, if they point it here, That's an intermediate lobar bronchus. Okay? You cannot see it in the hilum, the inferior and the mid. Okay? So superior assist. Yes. What you can see is the intermediate. But the intermediate will bifurcate into middle and inferior lobar. Okay, so
Ay ko ba nakipangutan na kayo sa book mo doon mo intermediate no.
wala intermediate no, pero sa inyong atlas, there's an intermediate. So mag ano ta sa atlas?
Intermediate kay it will divide
Into middle and inferior.
Excuse me.
So right intermediate lobar bronchus. No. Wala na. Ano na? Right intermediate lobar bronchus. But if it's here, so that's the superior. So right superior lobar bronchus. Okay? So first thing, identify lobe. Lobe. Bronchus. Because it's easier. It's thicker, it's harder to look at. Okay? Di ba? If you can see, it's thicker. Oh, there's white stuff. That's cartilage. Na mga white.
But the intermediate ba, is it part of the primary or secondary na?
The secondary gyapon siya. Primary is the main one.
Kay kat na mong ibang specimen nga primary ang maklaro ba? Hindi kay secondary na yung maklaro.
Oh, direct. Depende na siya sa pag-dissect. It depends on the but if there's a primary bronchus, it's easy to know because it's only one. Only one. Secondary kato nang depende na sa lobes. Okay? And then here, asa na itong nice kani? Nice of arteries. Yan na ka. So, where's the bronchus? You cannot see the main bronchus. Diretso na, secondary. Now, if this is the one that they will use, no, you know that this is a bronchus. You know that this is a bronchus also. You know that this is a bronchus. So what's this? Inferior lobar bronchus. Unlike katong isa, intermediate makitaan, di ba? So this is what I'm talking about. It will bifurcate inside na because this is dissected deeper. Okay? Oh. Kita na nimo you can see the inferior middle lobar bronchus and also the inferior lobar bronchus, this one. So this is the bifurcation. So if you can imagine, the intermediate bronchus will go in, then bifurcate. So but here, intermediate ra may makita. That's what you answer. Dagan kay remember, but more will come. So actually, this is the easiest. The lungs is the easiest lab exam that you will encounter actually. It depends on the specimen that we will use because like this specimen, the intermediate bronchus is cut already. So you will not answer intermediate bronchus. You will answer
Either
middle or it depends wherever they will point.
Intermediate bronchus.
Middle lobar bronchus. Right, middle lobar bronchus. No. Yeah, that's the lobe. Right. Right is the lung. Right lung macam. Right. Middle lobar. So middle lobe bronchus. Easy. Easy, right? Oh, artery is more posterior. No. So what? Superior and inferior or anterior? What? But in this like this one, I will I will compare it. You cannot imagine it. Unlike here, there's only two holes, right? So given that there's two holes, only superior and intermediate, you know that the intermediate lobar bronchus bifurcates into middle and inferior lobar bronchus. So if you dissect deeper, it becomes this one. This is the inferior lobar bronchus, middle lobar bronchus.
Yeah, my question is, are we not going to write inferior bronchus of the inferior lobe?
No,
Yeah, inferior
that's the
lobe.
name.
We don't need to include
No, no.
the lobe or the...
That's the name. That's the
You only need to
Well, you just
indicate if it's
include
left
the...
or
you just
the
need-
name.
right. Let's say
Lungs.
right lobar, right inferior lobar bronchus. This
of
one.
the vertebrae.
The one that you're asking is that's the segments.
Yeah.
That's for the surface anatomy.
Okay.
Later. So this one. Okay na? Are we okay in the bronchus?
Kinata, move on na
So
lang.
let's move on.
So Doc will not ask from the bronchioles
Wala pa siya
something?
move on na.
What?
Doc will not ask from the bronchioles something?
No, because they will not be able to
Okay, the only in bronchi.
only this in the hilum. But if they will there's
What
no
if
name
they
because
have this
it's
specimen?
like this anatomically there is no name after the lobar bronchus. If you can see there's only B1, B2, B3
yeah, yeah.
like right? So there's no name. So whatever there's name, that's the answer. Okay? So if he points here, so he will use this. If he points here, what's that?
Medial lobar bronchus.
Right? Complete. You have to practice. Right, middle,
medial,
lobar.
bronchus.
Okay, easy. Then if he points here,
Right inferior
right, inferior lobar bronchus.
bronchus.
What you mean by the right is the lung, right?
Oh, right. The lung. Right. Okay.
So it's the laterality.
Laterality, the lung.
The lung.
Laterality of the lung.
So
So
you
the
still
lung.
need to put the right lung.
You don't need to put the right, right,
Oh,
right,
tama lang.
right, middle lobar bronchus of the right lung. That's done na. You'll write more. That's
So we
easy.
just say right,
Yeah, that's
middle, the back.
yes.
Right medial lobar
So here,
bronchus.
so move on na tayo.
Medial.
Let's move on. So just like the left, more superior or anterior and inferior vein. More posterior artery. So you know that this is a bronchiole. This is also a bronchiole. They just cut it. So this is the right superior
Superior.
lobar bronchus. This one. You know this is a bronchus. Oh. It's thick. They just cut it deeper. Unlike here, that they also included the bifurcation in the right vein.
I just wasn't sure.
Okay, so that's it. So you know that more posteriorly, that's an artery. So this is an artery. This is an artery. So if you can see, there's a hole going to the superior side, there's a hole going to the middle side, and then there's a hole going to the inferior side. So that's the supply of your pulmonary artery. Okay, so if he points here, what's that? Right?
Right superior pulmonary artery.
But I think they will not, because there is no name for
Arteries.
the arteries. Only right pulmonary artery. That's it.
Oh.
Nothing else. No superior pulmonary. No, wala na. Because libog, that's confusing because there's an inferior and there's a superior pulmonary vein, right? So if they will name it, it's confusing. So just answer right pulmonary artery.
The location of the artery is anterior to the bronchus or
More posterior. Even if artery.
Posterior
And-
to the bronchus.
Yes.
Okay.
If you can see in the atlas,
anterior artery.
more anterior
Vein.
More anterior is vein or inferior. So this is a bronchus, right? Anterior man siya. This is an anterior part. So this is a vein. So that's a superior pulmonary vein, right? Superior pulmonary vein. So in lower here, this is not an. This is not. You can see this is not this
It's
is
a
not a bronchus. So this is a vein because this is the bronchus here.
It's thin.
This is the hilum part, right?
Dili
Yeah.
na siya actually hilum kaya lalong na
Deeper na siya.
Yeah, it's deeper. Yeah, it's deeper. This is just to to show you that
Ang galing.
deeper than that, there are still segments, ma.
So what's the name of this one? Inferior
Right
pulmonary.
inferior pulmonary vein.
Okay.
Okay.
This one is
Pulmonary vein.
If you can see, there's also a vein here.
yeah.
So basically, what happened there is they dissected it too deep that they cut this one. This is the pulmonary vein actually, the inferior pulmonary vein. So vein, it will go out and form one vein, one big vein. These two and also these two, this one and this one. It will go out. It will go out here, go out, one vein, one pulmonary vein, and that's the inferior pulmonary vein.
Right.
Okay.
Inferior pulmonary.
So, for the vein, we're just gonna answer to inferior.
Yeah, inferior and superior. So this one superior. Okay.
The more anterior part.
Because if you you know,
So,
just like what I said earlier, from pulmonary veins have 4 going to the heart. Okay, going to the left atria. 4. So 1, 2, then in the left,
inferior.
3, 4. 3. This one. 4. This one. Oh, if you can see also, this is not a bronchus. What's that? That's a pulmonary vein.
Inferior.
This is the artery.
So sa
artery is
sa left side, ang artery is posterior part.
Even here, artery is more posterior, no? Because mali lang ang pag-dissect nila, they dissected this. The bronchus should go like this. So it should be more anterior than the artery.
You're describing the location with respect to
The things
the
here.
bronchus or with respect to the
lung.
lungs.
So in the lungs, not in the bronchus, because sometimes bronchus is like this. Oh, the
Yeah,
bronchus
sometimes
is
it will be placed like inverted.
inverted. Oh. So you respect the what's anterior, what's posterior. Okay.
So more posterior.
Artery.
Para easier, because you don't have the time to overthink this. You only have 40 seconds.
45.
45? Yeah, mas saglit.
Mga tanong kung
Adugaya eh. Yeah, 2 items?
Yeah.
Really? Okay. You have murag na mo isa ka oras. If we were given that time, I think everyone will pass in the lab in our time. Because that's too much time. Because in our time, I think that's 30 seconds for 5
Items.
So we only have 6 seconds each. So once you go in, you have to start writing.